SJC here. Let's do this comic thing. First off, FF issue number 1. Scotty Young cover. I love this. Already awesome. Really awesome. With what happened to the old FF where it started with Spider-Man being on the team, like calling it Future Foundation, then transitioning to the kids and like not the actual Fantastic Four teams after Torch came back. This is what I wanted for FF. It's a fresh start with the kids in charge. Like when the transition of Torch coming back, it just felt like the kids were just pushed in and then Fantastic Four was pushed out. And I didn't really feel connected to any of the kids at all because I don't read Fantastic Four. And now having read Fantastic Four number 1 and transitioning to FF number 1 because it's directly connected, it was a pretty awesome read and the art was amazing. I know. I was like, oh, this art is just cartoony when I did it for Daredevil, but I really loved Allred's art here because it just really suits kids and the vibe. And yeah, I actually look forward to issue number 2. One thing though was the whole time constraint thing where it's like, oh, we're going away for 1 year in our time, but to you it'll be 4 minutes. 4 minutes to me it just felt kind of short because it's just like, well, that just implies that Fantastic Four isn't coming back in 4 minutes. Wished it was like an hour, because an hour and stretching this into an entire series, sure, that would have been like crazy, but at least hour or a few days, even a month maybe, because it's really stretching my imagination if you go like, we're going away. In your time, it'll be 4 minutes. Flash, rude, talks about how he got his powers and just what happened. And I think this is the time where Flash is totally like getting owned. He's just not doing well. And that last spread page, well, Flash, you're not helping. This is normal Francis Manapul read. Sort of wish there was more, but it's okay. It's what I was expecting. Nothing spectacular, but the art is good. Bedlam issue number 2, and sadly enough, there are tons of copies at RX, so you should really pick it up. I mean, like, second printing of Bedlam issue number 1 is out, and that holy scarce. Just for the story itself of issue number 1, you should totally pick it up. So now, with issue number 2. Things start off really crazy and intense, and just like, whoa, and it jumps back to our main character, and he's just like really figuring life out, like now that he's a post-murderer, and he's just figuring out like if she really should help the cops, or if he shouldn't. But then with the last page, I was just like, huh, this totally feels like an old move that Nick Spencer pulls a lot with his books. Issue number 3, I hope you have more to give. But then at least with that last thing, it was just like, oh. But then the rest of the issue was good. Good stuff. Thor God of Thunder, another Marvel Now, issue number 2. Wow, just dispersing like past, present, and future Thor throughout the issue is well done. Well done. Though this God Killer thing is like, how long or how powerful is this guy? Because it seems like Thor's just by himself and it's just like, where's everybody else? But I love the art, interesting stuff. Really can tell the age and difference between past, present, and old. Though there was more past here and present is sort of on the sideline and old is just here and there. Though 3 more issues for this arc. Look forward to it. Prophet, Brandon Graham ×2 today. So with Prophet, things are just like setting up. Old man Prophet just hunting down things and Die Hard is upgrading himself and yeah, it's just what's gonna happen next. Gotta read on. Multiple Warheads number 2 of 4. Crazy cover. Lots of stuff to read. Lots of Chinese and boobies. Yeah, boobies. Love the art here. It's just like rewarding once again with all the detail stuff. It's just like that noodle thing. It's just activate by pulling spoon. That's pretty awesome because things are, I like that in the real world. Storyline, things are just, whoa, what's happening? Like those killers are killed and then jump away. And clearly there's a diverging storyline now that things are pretty separated with Sex and Wolfie. And yeah, it's just an adventure gone well. Batman Inc. You see how he's holding those batarangs? I think it's a new way of holding them backwards because there's more pointy ends on the other side instead of like the round edge. That's just something I noticed with Damien, how he holds his batarangs. But anyway, back to now with like how issue 4 ended, it's just like, whoa, he has to go back to his mom? And then this issue tells what happens when he doesn't. And really, I wish it was more drawn out. Could have been a short arc instead of just 1 issue. Though I really appreciate how it went. Totally looking forward to how Damien is gonna act after this. Because it's just like, you gotta leave my life, kid. Or else the world sucks. What are you gonna do when you got like the city in your hands and the future of you is affecting everything? So, Damien, what you gonna do? Choo. Halfway point of 2. And when I read all these crazy reviews about how crazy this issue was, I wasn't that crazy enough to read it first before anything else, unlike Spider-Man. So, with the thing that happened in this issue, I'm just like, ugh. Man, things are just too intense now. There's no going back. There is no going back. There better be no going back. So this crazy guy, Tony, take him down. Finally, Caesar, you remember things. That was totally cool. I'm glad that Caesar remembered, because they've been pulling that, oh, I've seen you somewhere before, but totally don't know where. Like 3 or 4 times now, I think, probably, or every time they met, but true, read it. Awesome stuff. So that's it for this week's comics, and just to go back from last week, something I missed is Deadpool issue number 2. Yeah, things are just not happening well for Deadpool because he's just getting owned. With how this issue was set up, if it's one zombie dude versus Deadpool each issue, that'll be a drawn out storyline. Clearly they're gonna cut it short with how the issue ends, because I mean magic is gonna fix everything. So that's it for last week, and you know how this craziness of Amazing Spider-Man is just blowing up everything, because it's like, Dan Slott, what are you doing? So off Bleeding Cool, I read this issue about how 600 things were already planted. So I went back to RX and hunt down issue 600, and bam. So yeah, the storyline, it's like, whoa, the mind thing, controlling the city, and is it a stretch? Well, who knows, but I got 600, and finally, things might be different. And Superior Spider-Man coming in January is going to be like, whoa, Dan Slott, what you gonna do? So that's it for comics this week. I hope you enjoyed it, because you paid for your comics. And as always, get your comics, RX Comics, because they're awesome folks, and awesome collection. And their address is always in the description box. And that is all for this week. See ya.